A red drone flies overhead as the man opens his eyes in the midst of a lake. His family, spaceships, and shootouts flash before his eyes. Finally, the man gathers himself and swims towards the shore, accompanied by the drone, which he refers to as Ezra and uses to assess his mental health. Suddenly calls out for assistance. Another man appears from the lake, followed by a woman. They have no recollection of what happened to them. Fina recognizes the wreckage on the beach as the remains of a carrack, and Ezra recalls an invasion. The men then come across the remains of an automobile that has most likely been there for millennia. There was apparently a road in this location. People recall the invasion, although they all died in separate years. Furthermore, Abram admits to being 67 years old despite appearing to be 25. They were brought back to life in their prime years, according to the red drone. Because they died at separate periods, their memories varied. Around them is Earth, but 400 years after the extinction of humanity, caused by aliens, they were resurrected by water-dwelling creatures known as sparklers. The final goal is to bring humanity back to life, and the remainder of the knowledge can be obtained in the settlement where the others who have returned live. Ezra is directed by the drone to collect the sparklers. People gathered their little things and went off after the drone, attempting to figure out why the carracks revived them. They soon come upon half-destroyed arches, and Abram rushes to them, glad in his youthful, powerful physique. He notices and touches strange hieroglyphics on one of the constructions. The man is taken aback, and he admits to seeing everything. The red drone is shot down, and Abram is wounded by a second shot. The group flees behind a hill, where Ezra sets up an ambush and captures the pursuer. The existence of the village is denied by a man named Jax. A skin rider is a glowing substance on his neck that is one with the human body. He requires the sparklers, but Fina confidently exhibits her weapon proficiency. Abram maintains that he felt the immensity of outer space when he touched the mysterious symbols on the arch, but this provokes derision from Jax, who abruptly frees himself and lunges at Ezra. Fina, on the other hand, points his own weapon at him. Despite his claim to know Ezra's brother, they tie him up and leave this time. Soon after, the squad seeks refuge in a cave, while others with glowing parasites on their necks, including Ezra's brother Silas, are discovered. Meanwhile, the resurrected individuals in the cave debate how to construct a human being and speculate about how the aliens obtained the initial material. Abram's wound becomes inflamed over the night. He is lowered into a tiny pond, into which the sparklers are thrown. Abram is entirely healed by the morning. Fina talks about what happened to Ezra and why they chose her out of millions of excellent people. The resurrected people soon see high walls of a settlement in the distance, but skin riders with glowing necks catch up to them. Ezra lingers behind to stall the pursuit. For a while, he succeeds until he recognizes his brother Silas among them. Meanwhile, Fina and Abram reach the settlement's walls, and just when it appears they would be captured, the gates open. A yellow drone eliminates the skin riders and allows the fugitives to enter. It then follows Ezra into the air into the settlement, where there are no people. In response to all of their inquiries, the drone encourages them to follow and shows them rows of settlers' graves. Later, the yellow drone opens the doors of an abandoned military base for the individuals who resided there previously. Skin riders capture a man who has escaped from them in the wilderness. Silas notices that the light thing they call friends has mysteriously ceased working in Duncan's neck and offers to repair it. Meanwhile, the resurrected people discover that the settlers died as a result of a new virus that is still spreading over the land. The yellow drone requests that they release the sparklers into a vessel filled with water and learns from them that the sparklers can build a vaccine if the materials found in the living lake are brought. Fina starts bleeding from her nose, so she waits at the bottom while the men proceed to the lake. She accepts the duty of fixing the broken red drone. Ezra tries to figure out how the technology that brought them back to life works as they travel. The drone is powered by sparklers, although it is unknown who controls the sparklers. When the men arrive at the lake, they throw the sparklers into the water to collect the necessary components. Lynn, Ezra's wife, arrives before Fina in the settlement. She adds that she worked as a nurse during the invasion and can aid, but then vanishes on the lake's beach. Ezra admits that one of the skin riders is his brother, implying that these people have also been revived. He recalls the first time he saw the alien spaceship hovering overhead and told his brother he was a useless, pampered child. He is now resolved to apologize and try to find Silas. Meanwhile, a hologram of Lynn appears to Fina, assisting her in repairing the red drone. Meanwhile, the yellow drone alerts the skin riders of their approach. Ezra orders Abram to flee while attempting to apprehend his brother Silas. He is, however, encircled and subdued. When he regains consciousness, he is alone with his brother, who explains that he has forbidden forcibly changing him into a skin rider because he wants his brother to join them voluntarily. Each skin rider has a friend on their neck who teaches them proper behavior and links them telepathically with others. Silas is now the leader and guide for the others, thanks to the companion, although he was nobody in the previous universe. Then Silas falls asleep, signaling Ezra to depart. In the wilderness, Ezra encounters Abram and tells him about his plan to save his brother. The guys return to the lake, where 3 vaccination capsules have been prepared for them by the sparklers. They finish their doses and bring the 3rd one to Fina, whose condition deteriorates. Lynn requests that the red drone replace her image with someone special to her, and Duncan appears next to Fina. After her companions deliver the vaccine, Fina regains consciousness. The next day, Abram discovers a blocked room, showing a luminous obelisk. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Silas debates with Duncan the purpose of the companion directing the thoughts of the skin riders in the society, which he regards as slavery. Abram learns to read hieroglyphs in the settlement and realizes that the mysterious hosts offer to dig out weapons against the skin riders in the forest in exchange for additional people for the community. Ezra travels to the woodland to conduct the excavation. Meanwhile, Silas transports Duncan to an open location where Jax engages in training fights while insulting ordinary people. Duncan unexpectedly defeats Jax. Silas calls a halt to the combat and reveals that he tested his theory, proving that humans react faster than skin riders by a fraction of a second. Duncan currently has a weak buddy, thus he makes decisions using only one brain, the human one. Skin riders with healthy partners, on the other hand, have a signal that runs through 2 brains, the humans and the companions, producing a tiny delay. In the end, humans will always outperform them in combat. Silas intends to undertake brain surgery to lessen signal delay in order to get an advantage over humans. However, a functioning drone and a test subject are necessary. Meanwhile, the yellow drone transports Ezra to the dig site, which the skin riders quickly discover. When Ezra unearths an item in the settlement that the yellow drone refers to as a weapon, Abram suddenly realizes that he understands the meaning of the hieroglyphs on it. He does not, however, understand what this knowledge involves. The yellow drone informs Ezra about the coming skin riders in the jungle. They try to leave, but the skin riders surround them and seize the weapon. Unexpectedly, the weapon activates and kills one of the skin riders, allowing Ezra to scatter the remainder and flee. Meanwhile, Fina seeks to figure out why the unknown beings are regenerating humanity from the red drone. She requests Duncan's resurrection, unknowing that he has already been resurrected and transformed into a skin rider. Ezra brings the weapon designed to eradicate skin riders to the obelisk in the hopes that it may aid in establishing contact. He refuses to harm the innocent occupants, however, until the obelisk explains who they are and what is going here. The aircraft.